Oh, we on? Are we on?
You've been in, right?
We've been on. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my podcast from A to Z with Anya Zova. And I have again a very special guest, a very good friend of mine. The guy has a comedy special on Comedy Dynamics, has another one coming out soon. He's been on the late night show. He's falling asleep right now. Please welcome Jason Collings.
Hello. I had an album out with Comedy Dynamics. What was that, 2017?
Yes, I Googled it.
You did your
I Googled it.
research.
I Googled
17. Was it 17?
2017.
And then I was at Tonight Show in 2013.
I didn't Google that.
10 years ago.
I watched
Did it 10 years ago, so it doesn't matter.
You look very skinny on the Comedy Dynamics show.
Can we get some subtitles?
So?
Can we get some subtitles?
Subtitles, please. Right here, magic wand.
This guy here has been on this guy.
This is how I speak. I learned English from people, not from school.
No, you told me earlier you learned English from
wrestlers.
From wrestlers. What do you mean by that?
They are people.
No, they're not. They're monsters.
They're real people who like to wrestle and have fun in the ring, like we do on stage.
Are you talking about professional wrestlers?
Professional wrestlers, yeah.
I'm surprised you're not okay, brother. This is how I talk.
Yeah, that was my first job when I moved to the States. I didn't speak English, and yeah, that's how I learned it.
What was your first job?
NXT, WWE.
You were wrestling?
I used to wrestle.
No way.
Surprise!
What was your name in wrestling?
Anya. They let me, because my legal name is Anna, so they let me keep Anya. Like,
That's
it's
amazing.
the same, yeah.
So you were on TV wrestling?
I never made it. I was in developmental program, and then I got injured, and
Yeah, people, they say it's fake, and it's choreographed, but holy shit, it's physical, right?
Oh my gosh, it's the most physical thing I ever done in my life. Well, you used to teach MMA.
Yeah,
What
I
kind
used
of
to teach.
what
I
kind
taught
of
Kempo Karate and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu,
No way.
but I stopped doing that years ago.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I actually owned a school here in Long Beach.
No way.
So I opened my first school here in Long Beach in 1992.
What made you do that?
I was in martial arts since I was a little kid, and then I was in the music business when I was a teenager.
What kind of music?
I was producing hip hop music, but it wasn't making a lot of money. And then I had another kid. I had two kids very young, and when my second son came along, I needed to make some money, and I had the other skill set. So it was myself, my mom, and my dad and my brother. The four of us opened.
Wow! And you
a
used to
family business.
teach.
Yeah,
That's incredible. Do you have any students like who made it, like who continue doing it?
yeah. Have you heard of Bruce Lee?
No, I feel like it's a lie.
Actually, when I sold my
He's
school,
older than you.
when I sold my school, I sold it to one of my students,
Nice.
and they kept it going. So it's still a martial arts school.
It's incredible. Do you have any jokes about it?
No, it's not funny. It's really serious. No, I never really talked. I don't really talk about it. I talk about my kids knowing martial arts, my sons,
Okay.
because I'm terrified of them now because of it.
Why is they big, right?
They're big. They're not like unhealthy big. They're just they're
Masculine.
masculine.
Well, I saw pictures. They look handsome.
They're very handsome men.
Handsome.
They get that from their mother.
Well, she's beautiful. I've seen her picture too.
She's very beautiful.
Yeah.
But
And-
yeah, they're 28 and 33. That's
Okay.
how old the kids are.
The kids are grown.
Mhm.
And they live with you, right? I know that from your comedy.
They live with me. Yes. Thank you, pandemic. Kids move back home. Yep, they live with me.
Is it fun or no? Because now they're like,
Oh,
man.
it's so fun.
Right?
Especially when your son gives you an attitude 24/7. It's the best. I love it. Shut up,
But they're
Dad.
not kids anymore. Like they're grown up
They're people.
men.
I have roommates. That's
yeah,
what
you
they
have
are.
roommates. Yeah.
That don't pay rent. Like I say on stage, I have roommates that don't pay rent.
Don't pay rent.
2 extra dudes at my house. Yes.
Incredible. And do they do comedy or no?
No, they would never do comedy. They're both artists. They're artistic.
Autistic art.
Not autistic.
Autistic.
They're very. One is a photographer. The youngest is a very talented photographer, and then the oldest is a very talented designer and graphic designer.
Okay.
Does graphic design, web design, but he also does clothing and stuff.
So basically, you
like
have a team. You have a guy who can take pictures of you,
Yep.
headshots, and you have somebody who
Yep.
can do graphic design for your
Mhm.
website.
I want to start a family band.
Yeah.
We're gonna start a family band and tour the country, and I'll
Tour.
have everything there. My wife will do my wardrobe.
Yeah.
The kids will do all my graphics, and then I'll do all the singing.
And singing and jokes. What about your brother? I met your brother. Your brother looked like your twin. I was shocked.
He is my twin.
No, he's older or younger.
We're the same age.
Oh, okay. He's
We're
your twin.
actually we are identical twins. We're identical twins.
It's
We're less than a minute apart.
you should have told me because it was creepy. We were at the improv, and
This
I
happens
just
with so many people.
and
though.
I just spoke to Jason, and then I turn around and I see another Jason, and I'm like, okay, I didn't drink anything that night. I'm like, what's going
She's
on?
like, this guy thinks he's awesome. He's doing a wardrobe change in the middle.
Yeah.
Good
He
night.
was wearing a hat now. It's literally like in a second. And he saw me. He's like, oh, I'm Jason Brother. I'm like, oh, okay, because I think he read my face.
Yeah, it
Just
happens so many
freaking
people.
out.
I've had so many people come up to me and go, dude, I used to think you were the biggest asshole. He goes, because sometimes you would say hi to me, and then sometimes you wouldn't. And then I realized it wasn't you. It was your twin brother.
And how is it like growing up as a twin?
Oh, it's amazing. We're best friends.
Okay.
You were never alone. I was never lonely.
Have you ever dated a girl, the same girl?
Yeah, but she doesn't know it.
Yeah, that's what. If I would have a twin, I would totally do it just to mess up with a guy.
Right. No, we never did. There's a lot there, but no, we never really dated the same girl. We have these really close friends of ours that we grew up with. They are our identical twins as well. And when we were kids, people were always trying to set us up.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to have the twins date the other twins. And it didn't, my brother dated one of them for a while and I just was like, nah, no, thanks.
It's weird. Right?
I don't want to be a novelty.
Yeah, it sounds like.
And my brother and I, when we were growing up, we weren't treated as twins. A lot of the things that happen when you're an identical twin is that people start treating you as one thing.
They dress you the same
They
way?
dress you the same. The rhyming names and everything has to be together. And I tell everybody who has twins, like my buddy Skylar Stone, comedian Skylar Stone. You got to know Skylar Stone. He's a good guy. He runs some great shows in LA. Sky has 2 identical twin boys. And when his wife was pregnant, I said, don't give them rhyming names. Don't dress them alike and treat them as individuals. And they're going to get along so well because there's no competition there.
Yeah.
I mean, I have, those 2 girls that I told you about that I grew up with, everything was the same. They shared a car. The license plate said twins car on it. They always wanted to be in the same class. It was just like, oh, that's so creepy and weird.
Yeah, it's cheesy.
Yeah, the only thing that they didn't have that was good was they didn't have rhyming names. And that's like Jason and Mason would have been horrible.
It's horrible. It's like a sketch movie. Oh, whatever, a sitcom. So when you decided to do comedy, like what was a turning point in your life? You're like, I want to do comedy.
Well, I always wanted to do it since I was a very young age. Like when I was a kid, my brother and I would sneak into our parents' what they call party records back in the day, which was, they had like Bill Cosby and Red Fox and Carlin, and we would listen to those. And I just love the idea of that, of like, because you know how it is as a comic. There's something so rewarding about making people laugh.
Yeah.
But then there's the art form of I can make them laugh without making an ass of myself. You know what I mean? Because there are those kind of comics too that like, you know what? I'm just gonna pull my pants down on stage. But that's
we've seen those.
Easy, could be easy. But always wanted to do it. But then had kids young, and my father was in the entertainment industry when I was young, and he wasn't around a lot. And when I found out I was gonna be a father, my dad said, "Don't miss anything." I missed a lot. He goes, "Don't miss anything." So that's why I opened a martial arts school at 21 and to put food on the table and be in town. But I always wanted to do it. And 2 good friends of mine, I have 2 really great friends that I've known since before I was a comedian who are very successful comics. And they helped me get into the business when I was 35 is when I started.
Wow, you started late.
Yeah, I didn't start till I was 35. I'm 40 now.
Somehow numbers doesn't match, but okay.
52. I'm 52 years old, so 17 years now. But yeah.
You look amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You
So
do.
do you.
No, because no, thank you. But when he showed me a picture of adult kids, I'm like, okay, he must be in his 50s. But if I wouldn't see the pictures of the kids, I wouldn't figure it out.
You'd have been like, oh, he's 27. 27.
He's like in his 40s.
He's
yeah,
27.
He's in his 40s. He's
27.
But you started late. That's just like, wow, I have even more respect for you right now because like usually you see people who are famous now, you know them. Oh, they started when they were like 18. So
right.
Like Dave Chappelle. I don't know, 14, 16 he was when he started?
He was very young.
Yeah.
He was very young. And my 2 buddies that helped me out, they started very young. They were both, I think they were like 18 when they started, and we're all the same age.
So how long it took for you, like you started at 35, like your first breakthrough, like when you felt like, okay, I'm actually making it?
7 years.
7 years in.
7 years in. 2013 was the year that everything changed.
What changed it?
Well, I booked The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Yep.
I booked BET Comic View, and I got invited and paid to do and flown out to perform at Just for Laughs Montreal. Nice. And I got passed at the Comedy Store and my name on the wall all that same year. Yep. And that's when I'm like, I'm gonna make it. And I sold my business, and I'm like, this is what I'm gonna do full time. And whoops, maybe jump the gun a little bit on selling the business, because this business is so up and down. I mean, you could be killing it one year and then down and then up. And
in 1 week, everything could change in 1 week. You can say something,
especially now.
Now you say something offensive on stage, and next day, you cancel it.
Yeah, and everything I say is offensive.
I mean, I feel like you're on a line.
To somebody.
I don't think you cross the line. I think you do it in a smart way. Yeah, you're like on a very smart, you're right on the edge.
Yeah, because what I'm doing is I'm just complaining about what I can't stand. Who, that's my George Carlin influence. When I do that, that's my Carlin influence. When I do certain act outs, that's like my Jim Carrey, Richard Pryor influence. But I just talk about what I think is funny. I learned that early on. Don't try to make it up. Don't make stories up. Don't try to say things that are like you think that the words are going to make people laugh.
Yeah, just whatever is true for you.
Yeah, I'm the product. You're the brand. You're your brand, not the words you're saying, but I'm the brand.
Correct.
Like years ago, when my buddy Joe Coy was really helping me out, learning the ropes and everything. He said to me, don't tell me why what did he say? He goes, what did he say? He said, don't tell me about cheeseburgers. Tell me what you think about cheeseburgers. You know what I mean? And it's like, one of my favorite quotes is from Bob Newhart. And he says, because the difference, I'm on the same page with him where I think there's a difference between a comic and a comedian.
What's the difference?
Here's what I think the difference is, and this is what Newhart said on an interview. He was being interviewed by Mark Maron, and he was referring to them as comedians, and Maron was saying comics, and Maron finally said, what is the difference? And Newhart said, well, a comic is a person who says funny things, but a comedian is a person who says things funny. So I could be talking about anything, this plant, this phone, and we can make it funny.
Yeah, your opinion.
You can give it a personality. I could do whatever I want with it. Whereas a lot of comedians think they have to say funny words like, so then she farted. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, it's that kind of thing. Or they go real dirty because they think that's going to be funny to say. They concern themselves with, I wonder if people are going to think this is funny. I don't do that. I'll be driving in the car or something will happen and something will strike me funny. And I never once go, I wonder if that'll work if I say it on stage. I just do it.
This is I think confidence is a gold in this industry. Like you have to be confident.
Yeah, you got to 100% believe in what you're saying. Because if you do, especially live in front of a live audience, the audience has no choice but to get on board. Yeah. Because a lot of people don't realize audiences can see that this nervousness immediately.
They sense it.
They smell the blood in the water.
Yep.
Like, oh, this guy's
nervous.
This guy's nervous, and we're gonna take control of this room. And that's why I would do shows in the beginning that were harder. That were different territory. Like when they come to see us at the Comedy Store, they're on our turf.
Yeah.
That's where we're comfortable at the comedy club. But let's say, oh, this guy's doing a bar show.
Bar shows is the worst.
And it's a sports bar.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, there happens to be a game on tonight, but we're still going to do a show.
Yeah.
That's where I would go because that makes you a stronger comic.
It is.
Because if I can control that room, if I can get those people to listen to me, comedy clubs are
then you're going to kill it. Yeah. You have to do it.
I did a show recently, a private show that I got asked to do. And it was these wealthy family and they had this whole setup in their backyard. And one of the guys goes, I think I'm going to try to start with crowd work. I go, well, just so you know.
They're paying us.
Number one, they're paying us and we're on their turf.
Yeah.
We're in their house. So they got confidence that most audiences don't have when they see us at the club.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it backfired on them, backfired on them. And I'm like, you just got to know your room. You got to be able to adapt to your room.
You have to read the room. But you said an interesting thing about the people's audience smelling the fear or nervousness. But it's interesting because you would think logically, if somebody feels that the comic is nervous, they're going to help him by laughing. But no. I feel like we all humans have like this bully instinct in us.
Oh, yeah.
Like instead of helping him like to get over the nerves or her, we're going to be like, I'm going to make it as hard as possible for you right now.
And think about,
and I want to watch you suffer.
And think about who these people are. A lot of them are just everyday people. Our lives are crazy if you think about it. Yeah. Like the fact that I left a business at 35 to do comedy, my family thought I was crazy. They're like, should we call a doctor? All of a sudden I'm running away with the circus here, because it's nuts.
It is nuts.
But these people, for example, there's a guy last night in the crowd that was very loud, and I was like,
in the main room at the Comedy Store.
he's
right?
insecure
Yeah.
because, and I found out through friends that he was with, oh, he's the funny guy in our group. He's the funny guy at work. But now you're in a room surrounded by professional funny guys, so now you're going to be insecure because you're used to being the funniest guy in the room, and now you're going to try extra hard.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to be as funny as the comic. But with me, I just don't give him the chance. You know, I don't answer a question that I don't understand. So many comedians make the mistake of going, wait, what? What'd you say? What'd you say? And I'm like, bro, if you didn't hear it, just move on.
Move on, ask another question.
Just move on if you didn't hear it, you know. Also, I give an air these days of, we're at my house and we're hanging out in my living room and I'm just talking to you. One of the biggest compliments I've gotten recently was I did this show, and after the show, this woman comes up to me, she goes, you know what I love about your set? I feel like we're at your house on your front porch and we're just hanging out with you.
But that's how I feel anytime I see you on stage, because you're very conversational and casual. Like sometimes you sit on a stool and you just like having like now, you know?
Yeah.
And it's very like, even if you feel tense as an audience, you have no choice but relax.
Right.
You know, it's just like there's no other option. They're like, oh, this guy is like us. Like it's very reliable.
And it's very simple. Here's what it is. These days it's a little different, but they can't kill you. My dad said to me, he goes, just remember, son, they can't kill you and they can't eat you. And as weird as that sounded, it clicked. I'm like, yeah, they really just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, now we got people trying to slap us and tackle us. I mean, I posted a clip online the other day of this guy just walking on stage in the middle of my set. And the fact that they think that they could do that is just like, uh-oh. And here's my opinion on that, by the way. A lot of that has to do with social media.
What do you think? Like,
social media, you're going to see that video of a guy walking on stage over and over and over and over and over again, and millions of people. So that's kind of like, oh, that's a thing now.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, well, yeah, no, it's not. This guy walks on stage and I said, hey, man, are you in show business? Yeah. And drunkenly he goes, yeah. I go, oh, no, I don't think you are. And then he walked off the stage. But, you know, social media has changed so much with us. We're too accessible.
We are too accessible, and if people can say whatever they want to say, right, on social media.
Yep.
So I guess it's a freedom of speech, but at the same time, it gives all the crazy people opportunity to do something crazy. Yeah,
and what I mean when I say too accessible is that when I was going to comedy shows as a kid, and for example, I went and saw, you know, Eddie Murphy or whatever. I see him on stage, and that's it.
And then he disappears.
He's gone. Yeah. He's a star. He's in his world. It's not like that anymore.
No.
It's just with all the social media and the phones and everybody's taking pictures. Yeah. Now everyone and now the everyday guy that I was talking about in the audience, they could become famous tomorrow. That's a new thing. That's nuts.
TikTok famous. So, Instagram
but still,
famous.
Think about TikTok fame. A lot of comics go, yeah, he's famous, but it's only on TikTok. But then I'm like, yeah, but it's millions of people.
Yes.
These guys are getting numbers that if a sitcom got those kind of numbers, it's a fucking hit.
I still can't
Am I allowed
get
to
my
swear?
head. Yeah, of
fuck
course.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Hold on, we had a fuck yeah. What is fuck yeah?
But what the fuck? But that's the thing. And now it's like everything's accessible. I mean, I've talked to several people that accidentally got famous.
I love it.
Over the quarantine.
It's incredible.
They just was like, I didn't have nothing else to do, so I'm posting these videos. Next thing you know, I got 2 million subscribers on YouTube. 2 million people. That's I don't have anywhere close to that.
Do you have TikTok account?
I do have a TikTok account.
Do you post?
Yeah, every day.
Every day? Oh, okay. I have to follow it. I haven't used TikTok in a year. Like, I'm very like...
That's the thing, too.
Yeah, I have to.
You have to. And I don't know how... You're probably a lot younger than me. So not only am I... what? Am I making a mistake?
Say it out loud.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I just saw her look on her face.
How old are you?
You made her day.
I'm turning 33 next month.
Yeah, you're way younger than me.
Yeah, but it's not something like, we know. It's not something you have to address.
Oh, well, what I'm saying is, the point of me saying that, because you're younger, I feel like people that are 33, 35 and under get the whole internet shit. Like guys my age that aren't even doing comedy or not even trying to be famous, it's a whole new world for us.
Yeah.
Like when I did the Tonight Show and Just for Laughs and BET and I was on TV, social media wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
What you had to do is you had to be hilarious enough that somebody was interested enough to come see you. Then they had to go back to their bosses and go, I saw this guy. And then they had to come back and see you. And it was this, and you had to be good enough to then get, boom, now you're on the Tonight Show.
Now
or
you have
whatever.
exposure. Yeah.
Now it's like, well, how many followers do they have?
Yes.
That's it. And the comedy clubs, the major clubs, all they're interested in right now is we just want a butt in the seat everything 18 inches.
But
And we don't care what got them there because they're going to buy drinks and they're going to buy food. And that's the whole thing that's new.
well, I agree and disagree because I've seen both with TikTok famous people. I worked with a comedy guy in Florida, in Miami. He's from Orlando. He does parody like on politicians. And he sells out rooms. Like he could sell out easily like 100, 150 room. But I've seen other people in LA and New York, TikTok famous, and I booked one of them. They literally bring 6 people.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's a few of those too.
So like
And
for
here's
me, it's
why.
like tricky. What's the answer?
Here's why. Because there is organic followers. There's organic fame. That it just happened. And then there's people that got a budget.
Can you buy people on TikTok?
Yep, you could buy a career now.
Really? So can you buy?
Absolutely. There's these 2 female. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna talk. I'm not gonna say their names.
Yeah, but you can buy. Oh,
But there's these 2 female comedians.
so disappointing.
I know. There's just 2 female comedians, and I'm using that term very loosely. But one has an amazing following. First of all, everyone puts their best foot forward online.
Right.
You know, the world that you see these people living on Instagram, and it's not the real fucking world.
It's
It just
not really.
isn't. So there's this one girl, she's a comic, and she has over 1 million followers on her Instagram page. And then she partnered up with this other female comic who's building this following. And they decided to do a show at a very well-known comedy club. It rhymes with Amity Or. And but not the LA one, their other location that rhymes with Fan Piego. Now,
Very vague.
they did this show and the clubs went, we're going to book this because of this following. They called me, not the club, the girls doing the show said, can you close our show out? I'm like, yeah, because I saw their following. So then I go to do the show, and between the 2 of them, they got 20 people out for the show.
Yeah.
20 people. And that's when I knew this isn't real. And there's ways to tell. Look at their engagement. There's a difference between their following and their engagement. Now, there's a buddy of mine named Steve who has an actual organic following. He's brand new at stand-up. His
I know
following,
Steve. I love him.
yeah, he sold out because
Yep.
the following's real.
Real.
He went up to Canada. He sold out Edmonton.
And his comedy is very narrow. If you watch his Instagram and TikTok, it's about medical field, right?
Yeah, there's no stand-up on it.
No, it's just medical field, being working in
he's
the emergency room.
But he's
it's funny.
legitimately famous.
Yeah.
And here's how this is how I know. He wanted to come with me. I was opening for Russell Peters in
Russell.
Irvine.
I'm so jealous right now.
And I said, Steve, come with me. So I want to introduce you to Russ because he'll have some great advice for you. Russell gives amazing comedy advice. I mean, dude has helped
I
me
love
so
him,
much.
yeah.
And we walk into this, and it's Russell Peters, so it's sold out. There's not an empty seat in the fucking room.
Yeah, he
And if
sells theaters.
Yeah, and if you've been to Irvine, it's not a comedy club. It's a theater.
It's like 500. Yeah.
It's like a big theater.
Yeah.
And as we're walking through, several people were running up to Steve to introduce themselves and
So
take
they
a
came to
picture
see
with him.
Steve, not Russell.
No, they came to see Russell.
But
This is what I mean by real fame.
Yeah.
When he walked in the room, he was immediately recognized.
Incredible.
Immediately recognized. You know, he sold out Irvine Improv.
Mhm.
You know, on a Sunday. That's the real shit. That's when you look at their engagement. Yeah, this guy has 1 million followers. Why are there only 300 views on his thing?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. So it's got to be organic. I mean, I've had so many offers. Dude, I'll help you out. Pay me $300 and I'll get you more followers. I don't want any of that fake shit. I want it to be real. I don't want it to be organic. I have very small following on Instagram. For example, on TikTok, I have close to 20,000. That's,
Which is good.
but in the scheme of things, it's not a lot. On Instagram, I have close to 16,000.
But if it's organic, it's real 16,000
That's
people.
the thing. Every single one of those people
Real.
are following me because of who I am.
And they're interested
it's
in
not
you.
a robot or a fake account or whatever. But so when you're saying that about the non-sellout, that's why it's a fake. people now, because of the technology and and all this stuff, you could buy a career. You can make it. I mean,
But you're not going to last because when you book a club and you only bring 20 people,
Yeah.
it's not going to book you again.
nope. But there are also crazies in the world. They don't
Sure.
think that way. They don't have that, you know, um, way of thinking of like, oh, is this am I full of shit? So many people don't.
Yeah.
As an artist, we have what I call the what's known as the imposter syndrome. Like, what am I doing here? If you don't have that, get the fuck out of here. You're psychotic or a narcissist or something. And to this day, when I like the first time I ever sold out a comedy club, my first reaction was, oh, they probably thought somebody else was here.
You didn't believe it?
You know what I mean?
Like,
Whereas
what's the trick?
you got people out there that are like, I'm very famous. This is my moment. Come see me. I'm this person, and I'm like, nah. You know, and I learned that from fighting. Don't demand my respect. Earn it.
Earn it, yeah.
Earn that shit.
I feel like you have to be quiet until you get on stage. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing now. I had to make that damn adjustment with social media. Literally, it was like starting over. You know, I got up to the pinnacle. That doing the Tonight Show at one point was like the pinnacle. It doesn't even matter now.
It's like winning the Olympic Games.
Yes.
Right? It's like, I made it. It's like, what else?
And so many things are different now. Like, for example, we didn't want to burn material online. No, I can't do too. I don't want, because I'm going to, that burning material doesn't exist anymore.
No. And
People
it changed
wanna-
like in the last year or two.
And people want to see it over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Here's a perfect example. So I did the Tonight Show. And when I did the Tonight Show, the other guest was Justin Timberlake. So
Wow.
they had millions of views, but it only showed once. I think it was 8 million people
Nice.
once.
Yeah.
Never get recognized from it. Ever.
Something you
However,
put in your resume.
it's a good on the resume. However, when I did Comic View on BET, I did the second season that got canceled. But it didn't get canceled till episode 3. And I was on episode 2.
Oh, you got lucky.
So mine showed, but because it got canceled, BET reran it over and over and over. I got so many followers, all kinds of stuff, because they showed it over and over again. And it wasn't a different show. That was my watch. It was literally the same set over and over and over again. And I was mind boggled by that. But now that's all it is. You got a TikTok. You got a 30-second clip on TikTok that can get you famous.
It's true.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm literally like a born again Christian with this shit.
But you're doing good. You're posting videos every single day.
Because I
see on
fought it.
Instagram.
I fought it. I went old school. I was like, nah, man, talent is all you need. Talent is this. Here's what talent is now. Talent equals longevity. But like it doesn't you don't necessarily need it to get in the door these days.
No.
You don't.
You need following.
That's why these kids that are getting in the door with little talent aren't lasting.
Yeah, because still you have to be a nice person and a good
Gotta be a
person
good guy,
and
yeah.
to create connections and stay in the club, not just do it once.
There's a guy out there right now that he kind of blew up a little bit, went viral or whatever, and his act is horrific. Like, it's terrible. And like club owners are like, what the fuck is this? But they book him at first because of his following. But then it's like, I'm never gonna work with that guy again. And it reminds me of this story that I heard this guru guy told. He's like, it's like a lesson. And he said, so there's a bull and a pheasant hanging out together in a field. And the pheasant's a little older, or the pheasant looks up at this tree and goes, you know, man, I really wish that I could fly to the top of that tree. And the bull says, you can. Let me tell you how. He goes, for 4 days, eat my shit.
Solo, I lost you.
No, stay with me, Solo. Eat my dung for a fortnight, he said, and I guarantee you'll be able to get to the top of that tree. The pheasant, the bird, does it. Next thing you know, he was able to fly to the top of the tree. And the minute he got up there, a hunter shot him down. Here's the lesson. Bullshit can get you to the top, but it can't keep you there.
That's a beautiful story.
Did you like that one, Solomon?
There you go.
Thank you.
Here you go.
There you go.
It can get you to the top, but it can't keep you there.
That's very philosophical.
That's why I love guys like Matt Rife. I fucking love this kid so
Matt,
much.
yeah.
not only is he's incredibly talented guy, obviously,
Beautiful guy too.
and yeah, he's a gorgeous woman. He is one of the prettiest girls I know.
I know.
Um,
He looks like a Angelina Jolie. If
he's
she would
such a
be
good looking guy,
guy, yeah,
but he's also such a hard worker,
yeah.
and he's so funny. So there are things like virals and views and follows that are getting him to the stage. But once you're on the stage, you have to fucking deliver. And guys like him, that's why I think he's gonna last, because once he's on stage, he delivers.
And he's nice to other people.
Yeah,
He's not a jerk.
he's such no. I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about
Me
him.
neither. Yeah,
I've known him for quite a while now. Him and my youngest son are the same age. He's just like a few months younger than my son. And every once in a while, he'll call me dad, because we did a sketch years ago where I played his dad.
Oh.
And me and him were so disruptive on this set because we just kept trying to make each other laugh. And at one point, we're doing a scene. We're doing a scene at the dinner table where we're eating, and the girl, Erin Darling. Erin Darling, she's a great comic. She's a female comic. She comes in the room and does her role, and we're eating, and I did something where I look right across at Matt, and I can't remember what I said, but he laughed so hard that he spit his food out onto me, all over me, and I was like, "You fucking."
That's a great story.
But yeah, the shit that can get you there, it's great, but once you're there, you got to deliver, and that's where the reps come in.
Yeah. So how, like, now you establish comic, obviously. What do you do? How do you get your material? Because you don't do open mics.
How do I get my material?
I mean, on stage. But do you try new material? Like, if you have a thought of something and I think it's funny, you just go at the comedy store on main room and you try it right there.
Yeah.
Damn, they take balls.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I guess.
It does. You're at the best club in the country.
I'm so fortunate. I've been a paid regular at the Comedy Store since 2013.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate. I'm there literally every week. Or original room, main room. This week I was in both. And it is. But for us and the comics that are there now that have been there like me, it is our safe space.
Okay.
Because when I got past there, it wasn't the club it is today. It wasn't like this. It wasn't every show every night sells out.
Yeah, but it still sells out.
No,
almost.
No, it does now. When I started,
it wasn't.
No, I'd be in the original room on a Saturday night at 11:30, and there'd be like street people, homeless people, some tourists.
Yeah, half
the room was empty, but that was like, oh, this is the gym. This is where we come and put our nasty stained sweats on and work out. Now it's what it is now. But to guys like me that have been there for a while, it's 10 years now, it's a comfort zone. Like I feel very comfortable on that stage. The people that put me on the stage make me feel comfortable. Shout out Emily. And it feels, I don't feel like it's like I'm doing a brave thing by just fucking around on stage a little bit.
But Comedy Store is great because it does feel like a family.
Yeah.
It does. Like there
was a while that it didn't.
Yeah, it was a time.
There was a time when it went a little too Hollywood and a little too gatekeepery, and just recently I've started feeling like it's the old.
Me too, because
store.
I stopped. It was a period of time when I stopped going there because I'm like, okay, this is too Hollywood. I can't deal with that. Like it's too much. But now, for the last few months, I'm like, what happened here? Like everybody love each other. It feels like family.
Yeah, people are happy.
People are
Ding
happy.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. The wicked witch is dead. I'm not going to say who that is, but that's what happened.
What happened?
No, I think it's just change of guard. Things always change.
Changing, yeah.
For example, things were constantly changing at the store. Like I said, I've been past for 10 years. I've been a paid regular. People come up to me and ask me, how do you get past at the Comedy Store? I have no idea.
It just happened.
I don't know because the process changes. It used to be, the Monday night thing? Well, that used to be Sunday and Monday.
Now it's only Monday. It's only like sorting slots. And that's it.
And I would go every Sunday and Monday. And I would sit in the back of the room and wait to try to get on. And there were nights when I'd be sitting in the back of the room till 2 a.m. and they would, all night, they're coming up to me and go, hey, maybe in a few more. Okay, maybe in a few more. Okay, maybe after this guy. And then 2 o'clock would roll around. They're like, sorry, dude, couldn't make it happen tonight. I'm like, no problem. And I would show up the next night. And then one day I get on the stage and I do well. And then I start having a conversation every weekend with the guy that was in charge of passing people, who at the time was Tommy. I came right after Mitzi, but she was still alive.
Okay.
And Tommy was her eyes and ears at the time. And I heard through the grapevine he told everybody that would listen to him that he would never pass me. And his reasoning was because I was too old. He's like, I can't pass Jason. There's no real, I don't know where he'd fit in here. He's too old. And when I found that
35
out,
is not old.
right. But when I found that out, instead of going to him and going, what man, what? Don't whine your way into shit.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm going to pretend I didn't know that you said that.
I'm just going to be funny.
And I'm going to murder your stage every time I get on there. And then finally one week he goes, hey man, I'm going to send you down to La Jolla Comedy Store for the weekend to MC for the shows. And it went so well that I never went down there to MC again. I've only gone down there to headline.
Nice.
And because when I got the fucking chance, I was like, here we go. You know?
How long it took for you to get an hour to headline?
Oh man. I had to fake it because the first time I ever headlined a comedy club, it was the Brea Improv. And I think I was maybe 3 or 4 years in, and I had maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I got in close with a manager, and I was there hanging out after a show one night, and I'm in the office talking to the guy, and he's looking at his computer, and he goes, oh, shit. I go, what? He goes, D.L. Hughley canceled Thursday. And I was like, oh. He goes, who can I get to do that? And one of the waiters goes, why doesn't Jason just do it? And I didn't say anything. And he goes, are you available? I go, yeah, I'm available to do that.
You say yes to opportunity.
I said yes to the opportunity. In my head, I'm like, how am I going to do an hour? How am I going to do an hour? So I told all my jokes like this.
Really?
What I did is I stretched
Crowd
it.
work.
I stretched it out. I did long pauses. I did some crowd work. And then I was able to go, okay, I need to fill this time. But my advice always is get that undeniable 5, then get that undeniable 10, then get that undeniable 15, and so on.
Yeah, and it gets easier once you. I get that, like once you pass 20 minutes, you kind of know what to do. Yeah,
and then you get a rhythm. You learn this rhythm of like, I know how to talk funny now. I know that if I say this thing a certain way on this stage, they're gonna laugh.
Yeah,
because it's not about the words. It's about the person who's saying the words. And
it's funny to you. So if you look at your career, like from A to Z as an alphabet, like you started Z, A, you die when you Z. Where you are?
Behind the scenes, producing.
No, but like in the letter, what would be the letter? Like
where am I at now?
Yeah.
See, I'm 52. What's after Z?
Nothing, you dad. There's nothing after Z.
See, I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle?
Yeah. I don't know what the middle letter is.
But you said instantly, so you want to produce later on.
Yeah, I'm already getting an opportunity to do that. So
what are you producing?
Well, no, I'm talking about producing stand-up specials. Because I want to always be in. I am a.
But behind the scenes, you want to be behind. The scenes.
And I want to give people. I want to break talent because there's a lot of talent out there that aren't getting opportunities.
Oh my gosh! Thank you for saying it.
Yes, there are so many crazy, talented, funny comics out there that aren't getting the opportunity because of their social media. Because of that, other reasons, and like just so many reasons that like because these days you got to understand, funny is the last box they check. It's a bunch of other stuff now. And what's your ethnicity? What's your sexual preference?
Oh yeah.
What's your backstory?
You have
Do you have a story?
You have to be bisexual or gay or.
I mean, there are hilarious bisexual and gay comics out there, and Justin Martindale's a fucking beast on stage. And then, do you know Pink Fox? Pink Fox.
No, I know Pink Fox.
She's so fucking dope. But anyways, there's all these boxes that they're checking because it's Hollywood checking those boxes. It's not the normal people. It's not the audiences. Hollywood's checking those boxes. Hollywood is your white friend that says, some of my best friends are black. That's Hollywood. Hollywood really is your white racist friend that goes, no, I'm cool.
Love how you look at the black guy.
Because I want to see if you're going to agree.
I think I agree.
You agree, exactly. You know what I mean? And they're like,
you have only one black friend.
I have so many. Hollywood's this guy. We have so many gay black friends and Asian friends because everyone knows that white guy that treats their black friend differently, introduces him differently. Like he'll introduce his white friends like this is Peter and this is Scott, but right here this is my main man Solomon. Like they're always trying to people please, special, and it's like, bro, people are people, and funny is funny. I don't give a fuck if you have tits and a dick. If you're funny, I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna watch.
Yeah, and they're like, I have a list of comics that I go to little shows. Those guys are fucking hilarious. Yeah. But they have zero opportunities, and some of them have hours of material. Hours.
Yeah. And I'm talking about guys that have been in the business for fucking decades.
Yes.
Like, do you know AC?
What's his full name?
AC, he's black dude. He's
Didn't he move to New York recently?
no, he's out here. He's
I'm thinking,
hilarious, man. That guy's
I know JC.
still
JC is
hustling,
different.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, he's funny.
Yeah.
He's funny. John Campanelli in New York, funny.
But why do you think it's not happening for them?
Because they're not. That shift for a lot of us was really hard. It was
Go to social media?
it was very hard for me.
Yeah.
You know, like had I done it at the right time, I'd have 1 million followers right now. But I waited and I fought against it,
Me
and
too, yeah.
I didn't understand it, and
Resistance.
we're all afraid of what we don't understand, you know. So, but now I get it, and I've embraced it, and I'm literally like preaching it to my other friends, like, bro, you gotta put your stuff on TikTok.
Yeah.
Put a comedy clip on TikTok every fucking day. Do it.
You
know?
have to. Now I also fought it for a very long time. I'm still fighting it.
So, yeah, I'm the only way I'm fighting it is like waking up early enough to do, because then there's the whole thing about what's the best time of day to post it, and because there's sometimes I posted a video less than 2 weeks ago that's at 1.4 million views. That video got me 10,000 new followers off of one video, and I don't know why.
But I don't.
That's where I'm still like learning. I don't know why.
It's just algorithms.
The next video got 400 views. That's it.
It happens to me. Why so?
Help me, Solomon.
I was gonna say there's a bunch of companies that will take your money to tell you why, and they won't even know themselves, but they'll just make up something.
I mean, I've had so many people give me all these advice things to do to make it better, and none of it works. And here's what works, and it's the same thing that worked with every freaking thing else: consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency. How do you get bigger muscles at the gym? Going once a month?
No.
You go every fucking day. And because there are people that will they'll post a clip, and then they won't for like a month.
Yes.
And they're wondering why.
Why it's not working? Yeah.
Because it's all the same. Consistency. It's just like, how do you get better at comedy? You just keep going. You just stand on a microphone.
You have to do that. Yeah.
All the time.
All the time. Several times a day.
Man, I'm being preachy today.
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
You should be preachy. You should open like a mentorship program. Like, I'm gonna mentor like comics.
Too lazy.
Too lazy. Who do you think like up and coming comics that in next one in line to make it? Like, you see a lot of comics every night.
Will Burkhart.
I don't know him.
Exactly. Will Burkhart is a young comic who's killing it. He's funny, number one, which is, to me, that's the first box to check. But he's also a hustler. He gets up as much as he possibly can. He figured out the social media thing.
Mm-hmm.
He is doing a tour right now called Just Us. And the reason it's called Just Us is because when he started the tour and put this tour together, he did everything by himself. No manager, no agent, no anything, no lawyer, none of the industry shit.
I respect that, yeah.
He put this tour together himself, basically based on the following that he built himself with his talent on social media.
How long it took for him to build it?
Let's see. He's probably an 9-year comic now, but like he's a young guy. And that's the thing that people have to understand. How do they know this and we don't? Because they're born and raised in the time of that thing, those things. Like,
Gen Zs and,
you understand, there were people back in the day that couldn't even wrap their head around the idea of a remote control for a television. Mm-hmm. There's no way that can work. Where's the wire? And that's kind of where they're at. They're like, this is what it is.
Yeah, it's impossible.
And they're raised in it.
Mm-hmm.
He, Will Burkhart, very funny. Look him up. He produces Brent Moore and I podcast.
Okay.
He's a kid that does the sound, and then he's the third host on our podcast. And he's great, but I think he's going to pop. Mm-hmm. He's opening up right now there he is. There's Willie B on the left there.
Nice. Yeah. Really? Okay.
Will Burkhart. He's opening he's headlining his own tour right now, as well as he'll go out and do dates with like Trevor Wallace and Michael Blaustein and those guys. Blaustein's about to be a household name too, I think.
Do you know Willie Simon? He works as a comedy store. Mm-mm. Oh my gosh, this guy is hilarious. I feel like he's not getting in. I mean, he's already the door guy at the comedy store, which is
okay. What does he look like?
He's a white kid. Damn, that guy is hilarious. He was raised by 2 lesbians in Hawaii. So like when you just listen to his set, it's just, and he has like so much personality and like he's huggable and lovable. Yeah. So when you see him, you just like, I feel like he's one of the next
that's awesome.
Ones. Yeah.
I'll check him out. Willie Mack.
Don't know him.
Willie Mack is a buddy of mine.
Oh, Willis.
Willie Mack is hilarious. I think he's going to be great. But yeah, it's hard to say. It's really hard to say because of how it works these days.
You never know.
No one. Okay, if I saw one of Steve Ho's nurse videos and somebody said he's the next big thing, I'd be like, no, he's not.
It's hard to believe because it's very like he has a niche.
But
he has a medical niche.
Yeah. And what I like about him too is he's very humble and he knows where his lane is as far as stand-up, and he knows he's got to learn.
Yeah.
So he's not trying to headline.
It's very true.
He's trying to feature. He's working with Jack Jr. a lot and stuff like that.
Yeah, he did one of my shows in New York. He
Sorry.
was great. Yeah, he's breaking your shit. He's
Nice kid too. Really nice kid.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the next big name in comedy is Jason Collings.
If you would be able to go back, let's say 10 years ago, and give yourself advice, what that would be? Since you're preaching, I'm gonna take an opportunity.
10 years ago, I was a 13-year comic. It'd have to be more like, well, okay, 10 years. It'd have to be more like 15 years ago.
Okay, let's do 15.
Because then I would say, slow down.
Really?
Slow down. Just concentrate on the work. Stop. Because one of the reasons I got into comedy is because I wanted my father to see me do it before he passed away. He got sick, and then he died. Like a month after I started stand-up.
Wow.
He was only 60, and I was 35. And when I watched my father, who I thought was the strongest man on the planet, die at 60, subconsciously, I'm like, my days are numbered. I don't have any time to fuck around. Life is precious, and we need to get shit done. And so in the beginning of my stand-up career, I was like, you know what? In 6 months, I'm going to be on TV, and I'm going to. And that's why I bullshitted my way into comedy. Because
I recognize myself in you because this is my mentality.
Because I've never done an open mic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do open mics. I
to
lied to Jack Sr. at the Haha and told him that I was a 5-year comic, and he put me on a show.
But you have to. I mean, if you want to get through that, you have to lie.
I mean, as comics, we're bullshit artists anyways.
Yeah.
So then I was like, I always had one eye on the work and then the other eye on what's the goal. When I should have just had both eyes on the work. Yeah. And also stop flirting with all the girls.
Oh.
It's distracting.
It's distracting, or you got into troubles?
Both. Got into trouble, and it's also so distracting. And it's just completely ego-driven. That's why I started doing mushrooms. I started microdosing mushrooms because I needed to curb my ego.
Oh, so they humble you.
Yeah. Everything you get happy with your reality.
Interesting. I never tried. I mean, I tried mushrooms once. Yeah, but it didn't do much to me.
I haven't done like the hero trip thing. I microdose.
Yeah, it helps you.
My son was like, Dad, you got to go on a trip. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So,
you did it together with your son?
Eventually, I will.
Okay.
He's in the industry. He's in the cannabis and mushroom and all that stuff.
Okay, so you can get discounts and.
I haven't paid for that stuff in a long time.
You have a free dealer.
Yeah.
Does they come to your show? I've never seen your kids in the show.
They used to come a lot more when they were younger, but it's one of those things where if it's the family business, you don't constantly want to. Yeah. It's the same thing when I did martial arts. I started them when they were 3 years old, and of course they burned out a few times because you're constantly surrounded by it. Yeah. And with them, they're really concentrating on their own careers and stuff right now. But when they would come to shows, it was always more about who else was on the show. Cool, Dad, but who else is on the show? They wanted to see their favorite comedians, which I'm really happy that I was able to give that to them. They were able to come out and see their favorite comedian
and be backstage with you and
then
hang
be
out.
friends with them. And my youngest son, when he was 18, he went with me to the Comedy Store, and he was in the green room with me, and he got to sit with Justin Timberlake and all that stuff. So
Sweet.
It was cool. But yeah, they're doing their own thing now.
Okay, what's your goal for the next 5 years?
Next 5 years, my goal for the next 5 years is obviously release this special, have it be successful enough to where it will, lead to the next 2. I don't think I need to do more than 3 specials.
Okay.
So many comics do like 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, this is going to sound so cheesy, but I want to help other comedians make it.
That's why I like you so much, because people don't understand this comedy scene. It's like MMA, right? It's one person fighting in the ring or in the mat, but they don't understand there is a team behind it.
Yeah.
Even though it's only one person fighting, you have to understand it took a village to get that one person ready. And the same with comedy scene. You see one person on stage, but it's a team behind helping.
Sometimes that's the thing. Right now, my opinion is stand-up comedy is not a team sport. But
I don't like it like that. It could be. Yeah,
it could be. Very well could be. But there's just people just don't seem to understand their lane. How many people do you meet that all of a sudden they're like, I think I can do stand-up comedy, and you're like, no, don't do it. I mean, there's so many of us in LA, especially. It's crazy. It's another thing I've noticed over the years is how many people are doing it just where we live, and then you think about the country. Then you think about the world, and it's like, whoa.
But LA is especially hard because you compete with people who are on TV. and
Yeah.
who are established.
Yeah.
Like when I was in Miami, I was on stage 3 times a night, easily, you know,
Amazing.
because it's like you don't compete with celebrities.
Right.
And here, okay, in order for us to get on a lineup, you have to compete with Bill Burr, you know?
Yeah.
Not compete, but like he wants to be on stage too. Like,
Obviously,
and it's
yeah.
only like how many stages in LA? Not
But the
that
good
many.
thing about being in LA is you're surrounded by the Bill Burrs of the world,
Yes.
which make you got to up your game. I
Yep.
can't go on stage and tell some bullshit rinky-dink story about
You
farting
can.
in front of my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
When Bill
Or
Burr's,
fuck a chair, like
yeah, or fuck a chair. When Bill Burr's going to come up and just talk about real life and make it hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
He's one of my favorites.
I
Man.
love Bill Burr.
He's one of my favorites. Working now, who are your favorites? Like now.
Now, Bill Burr, Russell Peters. You mentioned how I loved Chelsea Handler last special, like her last special, but especially when she talks about Joe Coy.
Oh, she talked
like,
about it last
yeah,
special?
it's like it
Was
lasts
that
like
before or after they broke up?
she released it when they were together,
Okay.
and she speaks very highly about him, and it just like it's really sweet. It's
That's
really
funny.
sweet. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love so many, but I also like a lot of like up and coming comics. You know, like you
Yeah.
don't like Handon CV, hilarious, and he's like based on history. And when you listen to his comedy, it's like listening to his history lesson, but from the comedy perspective. You know?
have to be. You have to have a level of intelligence to do this well.
Oh, you have to be very smart if you want to be good.
To do it well. Anybody can try it.
Yeah, but then you
And then you're like, wah, wah.
yeah,
Who are mine? Bill Burr, Sebastian Maniscalco, Ryan
love
Regan. Love those guys. But I also, but Russell Peters. I fucking love Russell.
Oh my gosh, his crowd work.
Oh, he's incredible. His crowd work, his dad jokes are the best in the planet.
Yeah.
And then I was blessed to have the opportunity to tour the world with him. We did 4 weeks in Canada. We did 6 weeks overseas together. We did India, Africa.
Is this the one you did with Ahmed Ahmed, or it was?
No, this is Bill Burr. This was me and Russell.
Russell, yeah.
The one I did with Ahmed was after. They liked me out there, so they asked me to come out.
Yeah.
And I ended up.
Nice.
I got a decent following.
What did you learn from Russell?
What did I learn from Russell? Gosh, so much. Being humble and nice to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
That man is probably one of the most charitable people you've ever met and don't know it, because he doesn't brag about it. He doesn't post a picture of him giving money to someone.
Mm-hmm.
He just does it out of the kindness of his heart. And also just having, what I learned from Russell is surround yourself with people that you trust and love.
And he surrounds himself with family. His brother is his manager.
Yep.
His wife is at almost all his shows.
She does all this merch sales, and she just supports the hell out of him. And then, of course, DJ started from scratch as like his brother. Most of the guys that he's on tour with, he's known since he was a kid, and he trusts these people. Like literally,
this is a team. This is what like
that's the team. Yeah,
and I feel like is that we have to be like
when
that.
we
Like,
were on tour, that's what it felt like.
It's a team,
and no one,
family.
and he doesn't make anybody feel below him.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't make anybody feel like you're the help. I'm the talent, and you're the help. He doesn't make people feel that way at all. And you feel like you're this team walking into the. You know, we would walk through the airport, and you felt like, yo, I'm on this badass team right now. Yeah,
I have chills right now.
Yeah, that's the thing is surround yourself with good people, and then yeah, because with Russell, it is a team. It is a teamwork. He is a team. It is a team sport for him. His position happens to be the guy on stage. He's the quarterback, but you know he's got all of these. He's got a very well-oiled machine working for him.
Yeah, was it?
And the reason they're so good at what they do is because they love him. You know how many comics make everyone hate them? You know how many stories you hear about, God, I hope he doesn't come back. He was an asshole.
Yeah.
You will never hear a story like that about him, ever. Him and Joe Coy the same way.
Well, I haven't seen Joe Coy live, but yeah, Russell.
Joe will stop for every single picture, even if it's a fucking arena show. He will stop for every picture. I've done stuff with Joe because Joe Coy is the one who helped me get into stand-up. That's how I met Russell, through Joe. And I remember doing a show with him, and it was a big show. I didn't do the show. I just went with him to support. And this woman comes up and she goes, "Hi, can we get a picture? We got a picture of us together at our last show." And when she said the thing, he goes, "Oh, remembered her name, remembered her kid's name." Like, it was like, whoa, like it was like he was seeing an old friend, you know?
You know, this Joe Coy was funny. I met him actually in person and Supernova. You know Supernova?
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him. So I see a guy standing next to me at the backstage in a hat, and he has like a pink watch. And I look at him, I'm like, "Oh, it looks like you have your daughter's watch." He's like, "Oh, it is." And then somebody introduces him on stage, and he walks on stage. I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Who was it? Russ?
It was Joe Coy.
Oh, Joe.
He was like, "Yeah, it's my daughter's watch." I'm like, "Okay,
That's
cool."
hilarious because he has a son.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a pink watch, and then he walks on
Doesn't have a daughter.
stage. Yeah,
It's funny.
maybe he has a daughter you don't know about.
Maybe no,
Maybe,
he
yeah.
doesn't.
And then he walks on stage. I'm like, "Okay, that's funny."
Yeah, they're good dudes, man. But yeah, because I've seen people comedians just treat fans badly after shows,
or is it just leave?
And I'm like, don't you guys know that they're the reason you're
here
putting that money in the bank?
Exactly.
They're paying us. I mean, our talent is definitely paying us for sure. But, if it wasn't for them showing up and buying them tickets, you wouldn't be driving that Mercedes.
You know who does also? Brad Williams. I hosted a few of his shows, and he always meet and greet every single person.
We used to do the road together a lot.
I love him. Every single person. And he's the same way. He would remember their names. Like, oh, yes, I remember you. You came to my show 2 years ago.
I met Brad on tour with Carlos Mencia years ago. I was a 2-year comic, and they didn't know it. And Miss Mencia saw me, and he pulled me and took me out on this big tour with him. And that's how I met Brad. And then we ended up
Brad was opening for him, right?
Yeah.
That's how he
He
started.
was opening. He was announcing. He was awesome. He was all over the fucking place. But yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yep. Well, is there anything you want to promote?
Yes, me, Jason Collings.
Follow him.
Follow me at symbol A with a circle around it. Know what it is? JASONCOLLINGS. Because everybody says Collins.
That's what I said today.
Collins.
I messaged Soul today. I'm like, our guest today is Jason Collins.
And I wrote Collings or somebody
That's
else.
funny. Is this someone else? The gay basketball player, Jason Collins.
Yeah.
Remember Jason Collins was the first NBA player to come out of the closet. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so just me, at Jason Collings on Instagram, at Jason Collings on TikTok, Mr. Jason Collings Show on YouTube, and then my name again on Facebook and all that.
And you have shows coming up, I think Denver, you said, right?
I'll be in Denver. When does this come out?
Like in a few weeks.
Oh,
Following week. Oh, you're ready to
so I'll be back from Denver already. But this is gonna be out in the following week.
Yeah.
Denver was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you everybody for showing up.
Right. Keep your eye out for my special. We're still in the editing process. I shot a 1-hour special in Nashville back in November. I'm very proud of it. It's going to be great. Keep your eye out for that. But that's it.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I would love to have you back. You're
Anytime.
amazing.
Anytime. I could ride my bike here.
Yeah, he lives here. Oh, Long Beach. Thank you, guys.
Thank
See you
you.
next time.